In the depths of winter, I decided to visit my Uncle Jack, who lived in a remote cabin in the snowy mountains. He had recently injured his leg and needed assistance. As it was a winter break, and I had no other plans to do, I decided it would be a good break away from my studies. As a child, I had spent many summers there, but the thought of enduring the harsh mountain winter was daunting. The cabin, nestled in a thick forest, was rustic and isolated, with only a few distant neighbors. Arriving during a heavy snowstorm, the cabin seemed more like a relic from the past. Uncle Jack, though in pain, was cheerful and welcoming. However, his stories of mountain winters, filled with treacherous weather and wildlife, left me uneasy. That night, as the blizzard raged outside, the cabin felt unsettlingly alive. Battered by the winds, groaned and creaked, setting my nerves on edge. The only ornament in my room was an old taxidermied hawk, its glass eyes eerily reflecting the dim light. Uncle Jack, wary of power outages, had forbidden the use of electronics during the storm, so I went to bed earlier. As I lay in bed, struggling to find sleep, the storm's cacophony was suddenly pierced by a peculiar sound. Curious and restless, I crept to the window. The moonlight broke through the clouds, and my heart dropped. There was someone standing in the darkness. I shielded to the edge of the window and kept looking outside. The person seemed to be digging through the snow, his movements deliberate and focused. It doesn't make any sense in this weather. I kept watching, transfixed and frightened. Suddenly, the figure paused digging and turned towards me. The reflection of the moon in their eyes gave them a ghastly yellow glow. Startled, I quickly ducked behind the wall, my heart pounding. Peering out again after a moment, I found the clearing empty. The figure had vanished. I scanned the area for any sign of them, but saw nothing. Had my imagination conjured up the figure in the storm's frenzy? Shaken, I went back to my bed. My mind replayed the eerie scene, over and over. The yellow-eyed gaze of the figure haunted the edges of my consciousness. It was only in the early hours of the morning that I finally had fallen asleep. The next morning, I recounted the experience to Uncle Jack, who listened with a skeptical yet intrigued expression. After breakfast, we ventured outside to survey the damage from the storm. That's when we stumbled upon a patch in the snow that had been clearly disturbed. The exact spot where I had seen the figure the night before. Compelled by a mix of curiosity and apprehension, we began to dig through the snow. As we removed layer after layer, we uncovered a small, weathered backpack. Inside, we found items that unmistakably belonged to a missing hiker. A map, a water bottle, and a journal. The journal's last entry, dated from the previous winter, described a journey into the mountains, but ended abruptly. Uncle Jack, now deeply concerned, contacted the local authorities. The backpack was identified as belonging to a hiker who had gone missing the previous year. The discovery sparked a renewed search in the area, leading to the eventual uncovering of more clues about the hiker's fate. We decided to leave the cabin for now until it's safe to return. As we left, I glanced back at the cabin, half expecting to see the figure again. But there was only the endless expanse of the snow-covered forest.